Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. Omnichannel diagnostics platform redcliffe LifeTech has raised $61 million in its Series B round led by Leapfrog Investment with participation from HealthQuad, Schroders, Chirate Ventures and others. The company will use the fresh capital to expand its geographic reach across Tier 2 and 3 cities as well as to scale its platform and increase its product offerings. To talk about this journey and more, we are now joined by Dheeraj Jain, the founder of redcliffe LifeTech, and Biju Mohandas, the partner and global co-leader for health investments at Leapfrog Investments. Dheeraj, let me start with you. You've raised $61 million. Can you tell me where this money will go? What's on top of your agenda?
Thank you. So I think the larger deployment is to build up, continue to build up the infrastructure. I mean, we got 25 labs right now. That's expanding to 50 in a one-year time. We have 500 collection center expanding to 2,000. That's a very significant infrastructure. Second is, as we build up the large digital sort of online access, there is investment required, obviously, also in digital marketing to reach out to these consumers. And then as we build up, more and more infrastructure, there's a huge amount of data comes in, and we're sort of investing into data infrastructure to understand more about these consumers, understand disease profiling, and sort of tailor our offering to them. So,
right.
And lastly, also to build up the team. I mean, there is significant talent in the market, which we can sort of attract by, obviously right packages to many of them. And especially this is a mid-tier talent we're talking about. The larger leadership team seems to be in place.
So maintaining talent is also key there. Biju, let me come to you. redcliffe is a diagnostic platform and it focuses on low cost but high quality direct-to-consumer diagnostics in Tier 2, 3 and 4 cities. So can you tell me what made you back the company? What are the prospects that you see for redcliffe?
So I would say three things, Aru. One, why they are doing what they are doing. Right? It's they are operating in a disease segment or sector of healthcare which is super critical in that India right now has a massive burden of non-communicable diseases. While a lot of effort needs to be put in terms of treating these non-communicable diseases, a bigger effort or an equal effort needs to be put into diagnosing these early and preventing them in the first place. And that's where redcliffe, through its innovative omni-channel model wherein they're taking high quality, low cost diagnostic services literally to the doorsteps of emerging consumers in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities in India is operating. And for us, for me personally and for Leapfrog, this is the holy grail, trying to figure out a way to provide good quality preventive medicine to the emerging consumers in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. So that's one. Right. Second, the team that is doing this. Right. Dheeraj, you have here, he's surrounded by an exceptional group of very committed, driven people whom we were all excited to back. And then finally, I think for the first time in many ways, this team has the right tools to tackle the problem. India today has about 1 billion mobile connections, 600 million smartphones, one of the lowest data costs in the world and highest data consumption in the world through mobile phones. A lot of this is in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities and towns. So entrepreneurs and management teams like Dheeraj's are able to tap into that ecosystem to deliver this very critical services to the consumer. So for us, those three things really came together, a big problem which was being solved by the right team using the right tools.
Absolutely. So right team with the right tools. But Dheeraj, let me ask you, like we've mentioned, your focus is on Tier 2, 3 and 4 cities. And this is where access to healthcare is extremely difficult. So what are the challenges you face and what are the opportunities that you see here? How do your services create value for people here? And are you seeing good traction?
We're seeing amazing traction. I mean, we have cities which have for never have actually had access to any online diagnostic. They've never been a sample collection done at home. That city have a lab which have similar infrastructure what San Francisco and New York would have on the pathology with very recent technology from the market leaders or market giants in the pathology diagnostic machines business supporting us. I think that clearly the challenge is the pathologist himself. And one of the reasons how we one of the way we solve this is by actually taking our tier 2 pathologists, or even from the cities, to sort of move in there and go and set up and train, which is obviously creates opportunity in that local city. The second is obviously, there's so many fragmented, maybe don't even have accreditations. These are so many small labs which are around in that city. And I think people have not seen a good quality infrastructure with good branded healthcare company going and building this up in the most systematic way and giving, the quality reports and giving insights which they never had before. So it's all of that mix of that, challenges and then the opportunities sort of get sorted out as you go and build up more and more. And
Yeah. So, Dheeraj, can you tell me a little bit about your products as well? What do you currently have on offer? Will you use the fundraise to expand your range of products on offer? And can you tell us the revenues that you're clocking so far?
If you look just from a testing perspective, we got 3,500 tests, and all of them are packaged in 150 different ways, looking disease type, lifestyle, and then obviously, the clinical products which the doctor prescribes. And I think more and more of these tests are coming up. There's, more innovation happening. There's more research happening, some of the tests in the rare disease segment. And as it goes towards the market, it gets more mature. But, we are a testing company. So I think for us to do tier 2, tier 4, it has to be more simpler products. And that's what simpler sort of diagnostic tests. We also looking data. So we probably would do something more innovative, towards the data side of it. And that's where I think these products yet to become. But I think right now it's just to focus on the core and build up on that. I think we've fairly sizable. I couldn't share the exact revenue number, but we are probably in the top 10 diagnostic company of India. With our size and scale today.
Absolutely. All right, Biju, if you could quickly tell us, where do you see the potential for Redcliffe? You're focused on digital-led, asset-light business models that enable access to essential healthcare services to emerging consumers. So what are the growth prospects that you see for the company going forward?
In one simple phrase, sky is the limit, Arundhati.
Absolutely.
I do believe, as Dheeraj often says, 500 million Indians over the next 3 to 5 years is definitely a possibility. But the ambitions ought to be and are far bigger than that, to touch every single Indian home across all the cities that our country, men and women, live in, and potentially take this innovative model to other parts of the world. I know that Dheeraj and his team are already in conversations with respect to international expansions as well. So in simple terms, sky is the limit. We do believe the team in a very short period has already achieved 3 things which rarely happen. One, they have achieved scale. They're already in 20-odd cities, as you've noted. And through those 20-odd cities, they are servicing about a total of about 100 cities.
Right.
They have also achieved great quality. Their ambition is to have every single lab NABL accredited. Their ambition is to benchmark themselves against global best practices, hire the best quality pathologists, phlebotomists that there is. So that they have achieved a lot of that. Absolutely. And they will continue to do it. And finally, they have been able to achieve also significant revenue growth and very, very strong unit economics. So these 3 combinations are very rare, and Dheeraj and his team have already achieved it, which has given them the foundation to springboard into real scale, particularly because these 3 things are very, very rare. A lot of companies achieve scale without having figured out quality, without having figured out the cost and unit economics.
Sure.
I think they have done all of that at the foundational level. Now it is about scaling it up throughout the country and indeed the rest of the world as well.
Right. So like you said, sky is the limit, but we're completely out of time. Biju, Dheeraj, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
With that, it is a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.